Good morning, everybody, and welcome to PSG of Mercer County. The Professional Service Group of Mercer County is a group that is here for you. And Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to our first meeting of 2021. It's so nice to see all of you. Hopefully you all had a happy new year. And of course, happy Aloha Friday. We always celebrate Aloha Friday, Casual Friday in Hawaii here. At least I do. I know a couple of other people will. Got my Hawaiian shirt on, as I like to do every Friday morning. And also another celebration, today is National Bubble Bath Day. And some of us haven't had a bubble bath maybe since we were kids. But I always remember it being fun and enjoyable and relaxing. And so maybe this time that we're still in the pandemic and managing through it, you may want to give yourself a bubble bath later today and just kind of relax and soak in the warm water and the suds and all that. My favorite was always Mr. Bubble. I learned Mr. Bubble is 59 years old, which means Mr. Bubble can now start drawing from his IRA if he wants to. So, but welcome everybody. PSG, the Professional Service Group of Mercer County, is a group that is here for you. Anybody that is in any kind of career transition. What we offer and strive to do is to provide you resources and educational information to help you be more efficient and effective with your own job search. We do have our LinkedIn group. Hopefully you are a member of our LinkedIn group. It is called PSG of Mercer County. If you are not yet a member of our LinkedIn group, please go to the group section of LinkedIn and search for our group by name, PSG of Mercer County, and do make a request to join the group. And what I will do, we do look once or twice a week at the requests. I do look at our online attendance and our historical attendance that we may have to see if the people that are requesting have indeed been to at least one of our in-person groups, because one of our requirements, really our only requirement, is that members of our LinkedIn group have been to at least one of our in-person or virtual meetings. And the reason why we do that is we do want to make sure that the people trying to connect with us are only people that are really interested in job search and helping job seekers. So that's our requirement. We're just trying to keep the list collectors, the solicitors, people in it for their own need. We're looking to keep them at bay. And so we have over 1,600 members in our LinkedIn group. Please, when you're there, feel free to share articles, job leads. Maybe you got an email for a job lead that's not right for you, but it sounds good. You can share it with other people. Maybe you hear of some virtual conferences, other groups that are presenting. Please post that there, share it with our members. We do, of course, have our website as well. That is also PSG of Mercer County. It is psgofmercercounty.org. It is over 120 pages of career resources. So it is a very robust website. All of us that have worked on it over the years are very proud of the effort that we put in. We now have on our e-learning page, it's under professional development, it's under that menu item is the e-learning page. We now have 53 links to 53 e-learning websites. So if you're interested in moving towards some certifications, learning new skills, changing what you're trying to learn, new education opportunities, you may want to start with the e-learning page. So you don't have to go searching in Google to find an e-learning site. There's a good chance we have it. And if you find something new, just send me an email. We'll be happy to add it. A lot of those e-learning sites are free. Some of them have a subscription. Some of them it's a per course cost, but at least they're all easy to be found in just one place. And so go take a look at that. Hopefully that'll be helpful for you as well. So as a reminder, as we head into our presentation in just a minute or two, I am the presenter today. We are not having another external presenter, so just more of me, I guess. If you like it or not, that's what we're getting. So I will maintain the control of the screen and the slides. We do ask that you do keep your video on mute to just Make sure there's no unexpected or unplanned interruptions. If there are, we'll just take the second or two to mute that person, but we're just trying to keep the call uninterrupted. This program is recorded for video. So if there's anything that you missed and want to see again, you can go to our YouTube channel. If you need to leave early and see the second half, it'll be there. And it'll probably be posted by this afternoon. For Q&A, we're going to use chat. And chat is in the upper right corner of your screen. There's a little cartoon call out icon, like a little circle with a little triangle at the end. And in there, you can enter your question. I ask that you enter your question not to me, but to everybody, because I'll be running the slides. Alan Kirshner is going to be monitoring the Q&A. And if you send it to me, he would miss a question. And if you send it to me, I may take a while before I get to see it. And precede your question with the word question. And the reason why, it just helps us see that you are asking a question, because of course chat is used for all sorts of things like sharing your LinkedIn profile, introducing yourself, elevator pitch, whatever you want to do, no worries. We will be sharing the chat later. It will be posted on our website, but that'll be also later this afternoon. So post your question in chat with the word question. And there are basically 2 break points in this presentation. In the middle, we're going to take an intermission and we'll answer all the questions up till then. And then also at the end, we have as much time as we need for Q&A as well. And so that's how we're going to be doing the Q&A for this program. Each program is done a little bit differently. That's how we will do this one. Okay, and so I think that's all our ground rules for now, which is good. And I'm going to take one last look, and it looks like we all have our microphones off. Thank you very much. So what I will do is take the moment to share my screen to get the presentation up, and then we can get ourselves started. So let's see, waiting for it. So it looks like it is there. That is good. And I will start from the beginning, and voila. Just minimize that. There we go. So good, so welcome everyone. This is going to be our program, The Way to Assess Your Career Skills. And this is a topic that I always find of interest and very important to so many people. There are people who are starting their job search brand new. So this is a good way at the beginning of a job search to assess your skills, to see how you can compete effectively in the marketplace. Or maybe you've been struggling a little bit in an existing job search. It may be time to kind of take stock or take inventory. So really the value is you want to understand from your skills and accomplishments, what's the value that you're going to bring to your next employer, and really how you're going to attract your next employer when you promote yourself, either online, LinkedIn, resume, how you're going to attract them and let them know of the skills that you have to offer them. And so that's what we will be talking about today. There we go. So at first we ask, well, why do you even need to assess yourself at all? And so there are a number of reasons why. You know, as individuals, we really have a hard time looking at ourselves objectively. We have a hard time looking at ourselves in the mirror, and we have a hard time scrutinizing what we see. It's human nature. You know, we always ask, does this shirt look good on me? Or, you know, is my hair straight? And all sorts of things. We're always very frustrated. And it's not much different with our career as well. So we do need to come up with a way to objectively assess our own skills, and it's important that we do it in this sort of methodology. And also, if you don't assess your skills, if you don't know really what you have to offer, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can't know how to stand out from the other candidates. So you want to really be able to know within yourself professionally just what it is that's of value, and that'll be hopefully a differentiator for you and means for you to stand out from the crowd, from the other candidates. Those other candidates are your competition for that position you're after. Also, job seekers, we kind of always look backwards. We don't always discuss and assert the skills that we will bring to our next employer. And we think about, I have 20 years of experience and I'm a COBOL programmer and I've done this and I've done that. we assume that just because we've done something, that the hiring manager and the recruiter will understand that that's what you're going to be bringing forward. But it's not always that case. Sometimes the hiring manager and the recruiters need to be told exactly what it is you're going to bring to them. I remember that movie Philadelphia, where Denzel Washington was the attorney, and in court he would say, "Explain it to me like I'm a 2-year-old." Well, don't treat your hiring managers as 2-year-olds, but have the mentality that you need to explain to them specifically the skills you bring to them, not only what you have in your past. And also, if you can't know your skills, or if you undervalue your career skills, you might undervalue yourself in your future, in your next employment. You may have a less gratifying job, or maybe you'll earn less money. And so by being able to tout the skills that you have and the value that you bring to your next employer also can be much more gratifying and beneficial to you as well. So these are some of the reasons why we want to make sure we properly assess our career skills. So one thing I want to for you to think about is, don't only follow your passion. And it sounds a little counterintuitive, and it's also, I've seen presentations from others who say, follow your passion. And I'm not saying don't follow your passion, but it shouldn't be the only thing that you follow. So a famous quote, "Find the job you enjoy doing and you'll never have to work a day in your life." And that's a wonderful quote. Certainly from one of the quote masters of our country, Mark Twain. But also what you need to think about is, if you're really looking to find a career that will matter to you, don't just think about the things that you love, or just don't think about the things that come naturally. If some of those things are not available to you as a career, if they're not available to you as a productive career, and you need to be a bit more economically productive, you may need to also think about that you want to look at areas that are not just the ones that you love that come naturally, but also consider the things that you've returned to professionally time and again, because those tend to be the things that you're good at, and maybe the marketplace also demands much more highly. Find things that challenge you. Find things that attract you. Maybe find things that frustrate you, the kinds that you really have to problem solve. So consider that these are the types of positions that you may want to begin to look for as well. I can't tell you in your role or industry specifically what those types of roles and careers are going to be, but I ask you to challenge yourself a little bit differently. You certainly won't be bored. You'll always have the opportunity to learn something new. You may be more fulfilled. You'll have the opportunity for greater income opportunity. So all I'm suggesting is not that don't follow your passion, but it shouldn't be your only North Star. There should be other things that you use to help guide yourself and find the career skills that match those types of opportunities as well. But certainly if you can find the job that you really enjoy doing, terrific, more power to you. So the first place where you can begin to reflect or find and develop your career skills is reflect on your job description. And your job description could be in your most current job, if you're working or part-time, or in a position now, if you're consulting, or what your most recent position is. There's a good chance you have a job description for that job. If not, maybe you can find one very similar. But that will begin to show you what the skills are that you are doing, or the ones that you need to strive to do to be in that type of job again. So look there to get started. You'll certainly be able to find what are called hard skills. And these are the skills that directly apply to your work experience. They could be the tools that you use, the program that you're running, those sorts of things. And or even processes or procedures that you follow. So in different instructions, industry regulations and such. So you'll find those. So those are the skills directly tied to your work experience. Also then begin to think about your degrees. And if your degrees are many years ago, think about certifications that you've earned. As we move through our career, certifications tend to be much more valuable than degrees that we've taken years ago. And the reason why is there could be changes in the marketplace, and certifications tend to be very reflective of more current conditions. If you needed to go back to get a degree, you would probably be back in school for 2, 4, 6 years. Certification could be weeks or months. So look back at these that you've earned, both originally and more recently. Also, start writing down your hard skills, the skills that are job related. List them as what we call SARs, not just I know Excel, I follow Project Management Institute's Project PMBOK. Don't just write those things down, and that's a good start, but list them as what we call SARs. It's an acronym. It means Situation, Action, Result. And some of you may have heard of the same type of acronym with other letters. CARS, C-A-R, which would be Challenge, Action, Result. Maybe it's PARS, Problem, Action, Result. Sometimes there's another letter in there with the letter V, SAR-V, Situation, Action, Result, Value. There's versions of this. And the reason why is you want to start understanding for yourself and then being able to express to recruiters and the hiring manager, not that you're proficient at something, but how you've been proficient at it, how you've mastered it, how you've gotten good, how you've applied it. So hiring managers just don't care that you know something. They want to know how you've used these tools. So it becomes important not just to have a list of your hard skills, but to be able to understand how you utilize these skills as well. And you can put them in a Word document or piece of paper just so that you have it in front of you. Now, some of these may actually wind up on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile, and then you can get those out and promote those to others as well. So we talked about hard skills. There's also soft skills. And soft skills tend to be the non-technical skills. They may not be directly related to the job, why we do our job or what we apply to a job, but how we work. So they tend to be a little bit different. So you want to also pay attention and be able to understand and identify your soft skills. They're not usually taught in a classroom. They're often not measured. You know, there's no degree in a particular soft skill, but these tend to be extremely valued. They also tend to be what differentiates you from other people as well. Soft skills also make you more successful in the workplace. There are some people that simply can follow the rules and get the job done. It's kind of an assembly line thing. But then there are some people that can do their job better because of these other skills. We'll talk more about them in just a moment, but other skills that they apply in their day-to-day work so that they can work a little bit more efficiently or better. So it becomes very important to understand what your soft skills are. So the types of things you want to think about is how have you proved yourself to be a team player? Not just you are a team player, think about how you've done that. How have you resolved conflict with coworkers? How have you adopted with unexpected challenges? By the way, conflicts with coworkers, we're not talking about bad things. It could just be a disagreement in a work approach. A new project that's coming up, you had to decide on a good way of solving the project, completing the project. There might have been several ways to take on this project, and you and your coworkers each had a different opinion, and talk about how you discussed them through. So that's what you want to, that's what a work conflict is, not necessarily a bad performing employee, and that could be as well, but that's not only what I was talking about. And so you can target your soft skills. So you want to look beyond the hard skills. And one challenge sometimes we have with our hard skills, they could be outdated. They can be old skills. Maybe they're not used anymore. It's kind of funny, before we started this presentation, we had an open discussion and we were talking about Hallerith cards and IBM computer mainframes and COBOL and Fortran. And you probably can find a little bit of some of those things around, but most of those are outdated. They're not current. And so if you do have some older hard skills, you may need to start focusing on and presenting more, categorizing your soft skills. Examples might be teamwork. How have you worked with other people in your organization? And they could be coworkers, your management, people in other departments, clients. So people working together. That's just what teamwork is all about. And so that's more of a soft skill than a real technical or hard skill. Your presentation and communication skills. How do you get your point across? Are you a representative for the department? Do you give training for what you do? Do you need to educate coworkers, clients, people in other departments. So those are things that you would want to talk about as well. And by the way, I get a little bit of chuckle. A lot of us have seen this, I'll call it illusion, this magic trick. My nephew was 22, but when he was about 6 or 7, I did this very same trick. And when I pulled my thumb off, he screamed and ran away. So I get a little bit of a chuckle with this. Time management. Are you good at keeping yourself organized during the day from a time perspective? You have a lot of tasks to complete. You probably have deadlines that you have to meet. Maybe those deadlines are tied to the deadlines of other people. Those are things that are more soft skills. Your boss may tell you, make sure you're on time, but they don't tell you how to do it. And so you've developed that skill on your own of how to manage your own time. And so that becomes important as a soft skill potentially as well. And data analysis. Data analysis is a wonderful soft skill. It's not just that you're able to put numbers in a spreadsheet and produce a report or run the program and get the results out. It could be that you have a lot of thinking to do, or maybe you need to look at the data a little bit differently, or you needed to come up with contrarian situations. And to maybe reinforce the data that was there, you came up with other scenarios that challenged the data. So data analysis is a wonderful skill to talk about. Another one is, what's been your professional development? Have you been able to take on new challenges? Have you been able to learn new things through your career? That becomes very powerful for new employees because the hiring manager does want to ensure they have someone that can grow with the organization. So what have you taken on in your career to help you grow as well? So these are some examples of soft skills. It doesn't mean that you have to do these specific ones or all of these, but these are certainly skills that are available. And soft skills are often considered or known as your transferable skills. So even if the hard skills are outdated, soft skills tend not to be outdated. They tend to be timeless and relevant as you go from job to job. So when you think about transferable skills, these are skills that can be easily transferred from one job to another. So it could be that you used to use a different data analysis tool at the old company. The new company, they have a different tool that you have to learn, but you are someone who's good with teamwork. You're very good at learning new skills and other things that are really more of the soft skills. So that becomes very easily transferable to your next employer. You'll want to get your eyes on these very soon. These are also called portable skills for the same reason. So if you haven't heard of the term transferable skills, you may have heard of the term portable skills. Transferable skills are terrifically valuable because they position your future value based on your prior experiences whenever you apply for any job, essentially. So when you apply for any new job, it can really position you very optimistically, show your future value by highlighting a lot of your transferable skills in addition to some of the hard skills. They're also helpful if you're looking to transfer your job into a different industry. You might have a lot of years of experience in one industry, and you realize you want to take those skills and move into a different industry, either because it's a hot industry right now, or you do want to go into something that's more of what is your personal interest, if you can do that as well. So some of the tools, the hard skills, may not be transferable, but the soft skills are almost always transferable. Or maybe within the industry or the type of business you worked in before, you're looking to change role, you're looking to change position. Maybe you're looking to change out of one type of department into another department. Maybe you're looking to be at a higher position. You want to go from assistant manager to senior manager. And you can take the transferable skills and highlight those and demonstrate why that makes you a good candidate as you make that type of change. And also, again, your hard skills can be outdated. So if you want to go in and do some numerical analysis with VisiCalc, not likely you're going to find a position like that, not even Lotus 123. I used to be a whiz at Lotus 123 with some of the work I used to be able to do. These are just tools that are not out there any longer. But the ability to use your soft skills and highlight and bring them to your next career, that's really going to be a differentiator for you. And that's what you're going to want to talk up a whole lot more. Okay, so we are at our first intermission point, and I'll just ask Alan, please let me know if there are any questions, or if you have not yet posted a question, this is your opportunity in the middle of the program to do so. So what's up, Alan?
There wasn't much up, but now we've got 2 questions, so that's good. The
Okay.
first one is from David, is there a resource that lists hard and soft skills?
Well, what we've been talking about, you need to do that for yourself. You need to decide for yourself. I suppose, is there one resource? Not one resource that I know. Certainly I listed a few of the soft skills here. But what I would suggest then is simply Google it. And I have to say, part of what my presentation, in creating this presentation, I did Googling also to learn more about how to present soft skills and hard skills. So I'm sorry, I don't know of one specific resource. And I think the reason why there's not one resource is because every industry, every job has different hard skills. And there'd be no way to really present that like here. So I think you'll have to do a little bit of your research. Think of the tools that you use, the processes you followed. Those will likely be your hard skills. Soft skills are similar to what we mentioned, team building and working with team members and such, communication skills. Yep, so I would start with there. I hope that's helpful.
Second question, I think you've answered based on what you were just saying. It is from Mike, who said, how can one ID soft/hard skills? Yeah,
so I think pretty much the prior question, the answer for the prior question is very similar, Mike, for this answer as well. You do need to look within yourself. You do need to find within yourself, because your skills, your career path, your industry, your role are going to be a little different than maybe other people. This presentation is a little bit of a starting point, but I don't think it's a bad idea. I think you'll get some really good information if you simply Google soft skills or Google hard skills and see what comes up. Even if the ones that come up don't exactly match you, I think it'll give you a little bit of guidance, a little bit of incentive, and that'll be helpful for you.
Unless anybody sent anything directly to you, that's all we have in the chat.
Okay, let's see. I don't see that anyone asked a question to me directly. I do see those questions. So just take another moment if you've got a question or two. If not, we will move on to the second half of the presentation, and we will have time for Q&A at the end as well. It's funny, we were talking earlier about the older technologies that we used to use, at least us tech people. Certainly, almost for everybody, technology has changed and things have gotten new and improved. You don't see intermissions anymore. I remember going even to a movie that had an intermission. People went to the restroom or got another box of Raisinets and then sat down again and watched the second half. Okay, so we will then move ourselves on. And just like at the movies, the curtain will open. There we go. So another place to look at for some of the skills, and actually for finding the hard skills, maybe the soft skills as well, look at your performance reviews. Hopefully you've kept some of the performance reviews that you've had in prior jobs. So a lot of companies do give either mid-year or end-of-year performance reviews. The end-of-year performance reviews are typically what they use to justify bonuses and promotions and such at the end of each year. Maybe you also have goal-setting documents, so something like that could be helpful, excuse me, as well. It certainly shows how your managers have appraised your performance in the past. And so as much as we're not looking a whole lot in the past, you'll get a sense of from there some of the things that you did well, certainly from a hard skill perspective. Maybe soft skills as well. But also remember, some of those hard skills, they may be a little bit old, a little outdated, so they may not be as relevant going forward. It's a good indication of your professional hard skills and soft skills, at least an objective from someone, an objective view from someone that you worked with and worked for, so it can be certainly helpful that way. You also want to pay attention to your assessed weaknesses in addition to your strengths, because that may be an area that if you haven't been able to put a lot of time in addressing, may be a good time to do so now. Hopefully, if you have an old performance review and they assessed some sort of weakness, you have the opportunity to improve upon that in your career. But it gives you, again, an objective view of not just what you're good at, but in areas where you need to apply yourself a little bit differently and to have some improvement. And think about the improvements you've made over time, because there are certainly things we've all done, maybe from being identified in our assessment. Think about how you made those improvements, why you made those improvements. And you can even list those again as SARs, that you had a challenge to improve your communication skills. The reason was I was being considered for a promotion. That's the reason why. Here are the steps that I took. I went to a communications class, and the result was I got promoted. And so there's kind of a situation, action, result description, that you had a need, a situation, you took an action, and you had a result. So think about the ways you've made improvements over time. These are things that are also part of your soft skills, personal improvement. Also, ask others for feedback. And there are people that are being very good for you to ask for feedback, and then there will be people that won't be as effective for you for asking feedback. It's very impressive to have others endorse you. Think about any time you were going shopping, or if you're a hiring manager, anytime you were considering hiring an employee. If you've got an endorsement from somebody about that person, it's very powerful. So you want to understand from others what they do like about you and how effective you were in the workplace. So people that usually can give you pretty honest feedback, especially on your performance, maybe former clients or staff from other departments. So people that you basically serviced. So if you had those opportunities, you can go back, you can reach out to them, maybe find them on LinkedIn, maybe you have an old email address, and reach out to these people and have an honest, short discussion about, your performance as a worker. Reach out to your former managers. Your managers, they were directly responsible for your performance at the job, and they can tell you objectively how you worked effectively and the other areas that you need to improve. And then coworkers as well, the people that sat at the desks and cubes next to you. You can find from those people if you're still in touch with them. So I remember when I was job hunting, the last time I was full-time job hunting was 2013, and I sat down with two of my coworkers. I was a manager, and I reached out to two of the people that worked for me. And I basically, said, what did you like? What did you think was effective? And what do you think we would have liked different at the time we were working together? And I found it great and insightful. So I found it very helpful. I think you may as well. There are also people that are a little less effective at giving you feedback. These are people that I call good sources of encouragement, but poor sources of feedback. Your closest friends and your family members. Now, these are people that love you dearly, care about you dearly. They're vested in your success. They really want you to be happy. But they don't know you professionally. They know you personally. Think about your, the people, what do you think of me as a person? Oh, you're perfect the way you are. That's kind of your closest family members. So they have their interest, your best interest in mind, but they're not always able to be as objective for you as you may need in job search. So just be a little bit aware. Take their feedback with a grain of salt. Other options you may have is look at online assessment tests. There are a bunch that are out there that are there for different reasons, and you can find maybe an assessment test that makes sense for you. For one thing, employers are asking candidates to take assessment tests. There are different ones. You may not always know what they're going to ask you. So by you being able to take one if you want, you may get a sense of how the assessment test is going to describe you to them. Why is that important? Because when you interview, you now can talk in terms of what they may see in an assessment test. So their questions, their findings will already be answered, they'll already be disclosed. So it could certainly be helpful from that perspective. There are some behavioral tests that are out there. They're kind of used to predict your behaviors in response to situations or how your response to working with other people. So here are a couple that are there. One's called the Caliper Profile, Myers-Briggs, a lot of people know about that, and DISC. DISC is more of a personality type assessment test. There's 4 quadrants in DISC, and find out what type of personality. So these may be relevant to you. You have to decide if any of these are or are not. Typically, career coaches can help you with these as well if you'd like, or you can find them online. Skills assessments, there are different skills assessments that you could take. I cannot tell you which is the best one because they tend to be industry or topical specific, but they are used to be able to assess you as objectively as possible on some of the hard skills that you're going to bring to your next company. So if you want to have that kind of assessment, may be relevant as well. So take your own assessment and see how you are evaluated. So I mentioned before, it'll give you insight into what others may see if they run the assessment. So that becomes important. It gives you insight into yourself as to maybe areas you may need to change. If you find in a skills assessment that you're not of the higher score area, you may want to work to improve that, improve your hard skills. And this may enlighten you a little bit as well. Another place to find out skills that may be appropriate for you, check out job postings. Job postings are they're telling you what's out there. They're telling you what they want. They're telling you what's necessary right now. So you can get a comprehensive list of your skills and you can develop stories of how you're using them from the job postings that you're seeing. The job postings may also describe not just a skill that they want, but how to apply it. So that can become important as well. It's typically of companies and roles that you're interested in. Those are the ones that are the most important for you right now. So look at the organizations that you may be interested in, the industries, the roles of interest, the targeted, maybe you'll make a targeted company list. Some of the places to find job postings, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a terrific place. Recruiters are using LinkedIn more and more. It is the #1 job recruiting tool for recruiters. They are posting jobs, so look under the jobs section of LinkedIn. The job boards pages, also another place that recruiters, whether internal or external, are posting positions. They're using, could be Dice, Monster, Career Builder, Indeed, Simply Hired, any of those that are out there. Glassdoor is posting, any of them that are out there. Search for roles, for positions, and then read the job descriptions. And if you're seeing jobs in your industry and your role, but you're not satisfying a lot of the bullet points that they're requesting, maybe time for you to reassess your own soft skills, or if you can, improve upon your hard skills so you can compete. Look at the company career pages. They're posting specifically what they're looking for. And so if you're wondering, what is this company looking for in a job? Look at those job postings. Now, I understand sometimes they're not 100%. They may have reused the last time a job posting from the last time they hired someone a year ago. I get that, but you'll have a lot of good information in there, even if it's a little outdated. Good source of information. So these will give you a good indication of the skills that you should highlight on your resume, on your public profile, skills that you want to focus on as you discuss yourself professionally, and that's what these are going to be important for. And then revisit your resume, revisit your public profiles. And the reason why is you want to see if your resume and your public profiles are basically what you are posting about yourself on LinkedIn and job boards and on social media, maybe your own website. It really goes to show, are you promoting yourself in the way you are now reflecting in the way others are looking for someone like you? You want to see, is there enough of a match? If there isn't, you're going to have to do some revisions. So you will update and fine tune your own public profile, your own resume based on this career assessment process that you're going through. You want to highlight the skills that are really most pertinent to the jobs that you seek. You are not necessarily highlighting the skills that you want to highlight. You're highlighting the skills that they want to see. And that becomes the difference. A lot of people like to talk about the things that they've done, but if the things that you've done are not relevant, they're not going to be of interest to hiring managers. And hiring managers don't want to spend a lot of time looking for people. They want to spend a lot of time talking to someone that they found, but they don't want to spend a lot of time looking for someone. You got to grab them right away. You got to match right away. Recruiters can find and contact you with a close match because your profiles, whether it's in LinkedIn or in the job boards, match what they're looking for. So it improves your opportunity to be found, for your profiles to be found, your resume to be found. And so that's why you want to come up with that close match. So as we wrap up, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can't find what it is that will allow you to stand out from other people. So it becomes very important that you do an objective assessment, either by yourself or hopefully with others involved, so that you can find out specifically the hard skills, the technical skills, and the soft skills, the skills that show how you work, and so that they can be matched up well with hiring managers. Identify the skills that you are bringing to employers and to the skills of interest to the employers. You want to list your hard and soft skills, and also you want to recall your professional experience, how you applied them professionally. And then that's what creates those stories and those SARs. Also, investigate and recall what others think about you then and now, because that will help drive a more objective opinion, a more objective view of how you use your skills and how you are as a worker. And then update your profiles, your resume and your public profiles, so that you can promote and demonstrate your future value to employers. And so there we have it. By the way, this slide deck, if you're interested, is posted it's posted now on our PSG of Mercer County website. And so this is how you find it. If you see there's an arrow in the lower right, and there's a link called Meeting Presentation Documents. This is a meeting. That's a presentation document. That's why we named that page as such. And there's a whole list of meeting presentation documents that are there. Obviously, this is the first of 2021. And by the way, we have almost all of our meeting presentation documents since late 2013, all posted on the PSG of Mercer County website. Now, a little bit later, there'll be additional information like the chat information that's here, as well as the link to the YouTube channel. And by the way, if you see just below that arrow, there's a little bit of the subscribe to and view our YouTube channel. Right there is the logo for YouTube, and if you click on that, it will take you to our YouTube channel, and our video will be posted this afternoon. So any other questions, comments, thoughts before we wrap up the meeting?
We have one from Patricia, David.
Okay.
The question is, what do you think of the Clifton Strengths 34 assessment?
I have never heard of that one, and I am writing it down so that hopefully it'll be part of this presentation the next time.
It's a Gallup product, Gallup.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention. It's one that I didn't come across, and I'll have to learn about as well. Thank you. So again, we're still using Q&A for chat if you don't mind. So any other questions, thoughts, comments before we move forward?
Edith was just asking for the name of that assessment again.
Clifton Strengths 34.
Clifton Strengths. If you go on the Gallup, Gallup website, it's a Gallup product.
Okay, so I just put that into the chat as
well. It's Gallup, Gallup.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
David, I have a comment. It's Joan Stark.
Good.
Okay. I just wanted to mention, I'm sure others have seen this, two websites that are, I think you can access one from the other. There's the ONET interest profile that I'm sure many people have seen. And then the one I found to be more interesting is Career One Stop. And this one, I like this because it has several assessments for interests, skills, and work values. And that can lead you to lists of careers and jobs, and those lists of careers and jobs then can lead you to a whole list of certifications that are, you know, top certifications or ones that, you know, from various companies. It's a really good way to look up the job that you're looking to get into and to find out everything in one spot here.
Yeah, I'm aware of both of those. Actually, links to those are on the PSG of Mercer County website. I believe it's in the resources tab. And if you click on the resources
Okay.
tab, ONET is there, as well as the One Stop, which is part of the state and counties in New Jersey. So thank you, Joan.
Yep.
Good. And I will put that in chat as well. Or Joan, you certainly can put those.
Okay. All right. I'll put that into the chat.
Yep. And also, if you're in another state, like Pennsylvania has Career Link, they have their resources as well. So you can check those out. So somebody has their, I guess, Joan, if it's you, if you're still mute, please mute yourself. Okay. So this is our contact information in case you have no other questions for us right now. I did mention our website a little bit earlier, psgofmercercounty.org. It is a lot of resources. It's available for everybody. It's not just a New Jersey website. It's really for everybody. We do have links to the career resources also, in addition to New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Delaware in our resources page. So very robust. Any other questions, folks, before we wrap up and move on? Okay, no worries at all. Oh, Bill has posted, oh yeah, this further reading. What color is your parachute? Richard Bowles. Yeah, good discussion on assessments and worksheets. Yep, absolutely. So Lily has a question. How are soft skills highlighted? So for example, in an interview, if asked about a software skill, how to incorporate that, you have the ability to learn. Can you say that you used older systems and was able to learn new systems that an interview asked about? The short answer is yes. So how are soft skills highlighted? They are used to talk about how you've done your work, not just that you have a programming language, which may be a hard skill. So if you're using the software skill, whether it's a programming language or a tool, like you used to use Lotus 1, 2, 3, and now you used Excel, really what the soft skill portion is the way you approached doing the work. How is the way you decided to build a spreadsheet in a certain format, assuming it's a product like a spreadsheet. How you decided to come up with an algorithm in your programming, whether you talked with other people, whether you did analysis. So those are the types of things that you want to talk about, not just, yes, I used a software product. Especially if it's an older product, it's not as exciting to hiring managers. They want to know that you can use or adapt to using the newer product. So the softer skills talks about how you did your work. Okay, thanks, Lily. Okay, wait another moment if there's another question or two. There's one from Maureen. Are interviews continuing to be made on Zoom? In an earlier session, there was a suggestion to practice with friends and family members. Yes, lots of interviews. I would think the majority now are on Zoom. If you're available to meet with us here next week, we'll be talking about getting your presence across in a video interview, so the importance of it. Certainly practice with someone. Now, remember, friends and family members, they may not be able to be the most objective in evaluating your skills. So if you're doing it with a friend or family who loves you dearly, they'll say, you look beautiful on the video. That's fine. What you want to know are, how's my lighting? Am I looking at the camera? Is the background distracting? Are my answers short and sweet? Am I getting to the point? Things that are very important in the video interview. So make sure that when you work with a friend and a family, they can be very constructive and not just, honey, I love the way you combed your hair. So you want to become very sure that it's just not the loving type of feedback that they give you, but that they can objectively review your performance in video. But yes, video interviews are very important. Okay. And of course, you see that I'm looking away from you. I'm sorry, and I'm looking at the chat just to see if there's anything else coming through. And doesn't seem to be. So I think what I will do is stop sharing the screen and let us move forward. I want to make sure I don't stop the session. There we go. So hopefully you've got the screen back to yourself, and I see a bunch of faces there. And we will move ourselves forward. Good. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate your opportunity to be here to share this with you. I hope that there's some value that you've gotten out of for yourself, identifying ways to highlight your career skills. I want to let you know what's coming up the next couple of weeks here at PSG of Mercer County and other groups as well. So next week, Alex Freund, career coach Alex Freund, the landing expert, will be here. How to build rapport in a video interview. So it goes exactly to that last question. And Alex has done a tremendous amount of research on this, and he knows the topic very, very well. So Alex will be here, good friend of PSG of Mercer County and lots of groups. I'm so glad that Alex is here at the beginning of 2021. Then the following week, January 22nd, Lisa Maniocchi will be here. Presence intelligence. It's really about how are you projecting yourself, your personality and your presence when you're with other people. It's always an enlightening and fun presentation. I hope that you will be here for that. She's been presenting to us before. Glad that she's able to come back as well. Other programs that are running, George Pace still does his Facebook presentation, his Facebook Live every Sunday morning. And they're recorded as well. So it's facebook.com/keeppace, facebook.com/keeppace. Just go either on Sunday mornings or anytime to get the historical stuff. And speaking of George Pace, George will be presenting tomorrow morning at the Breakfast Club of New Jersey. The Breakfast Club meets Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And you can get their information on their website, thebreakfastclubnj.com, thebreakfastclubnj.com. And George will be talking about how to keep pace. Boy, he's got a great name, George Pace. How to keep pace in a post-COVID world, preparing for disrupted ecosystems and the new normal. So always George does very wonderful, insightful presentations. So that will be tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. And of course, you will have to bring your own breakfast, but always a very insightful meeting. Next Saturday morning, and that's the 16th, will be Abby Kohat, absolutely Abby, will be talking about at the Career Support Group next Saturday at 8:30, 47 absolutely uncommon ways to find a job. So if you want to know more than 46 ways of finding a job, Abby will be talking about 47. So that's careersupportgroup.org, careersupportgroup.org. Get that for next Saturday at 8:30. New Jersey Job Seekers meets every Tuesday evening at 7:30. And what's nice is it's always a meeting that is topical to what you want to talk about. You bring the topic and the members all talk about it. It's always an open discussion. I will be posting again the link for the meeting. If you look at older posts, they reuse the same link. I'll post it again in our LinkedIn group, or if you look at older posts, it will be there. PSG of Central New Jersey, one of our kind of cousin organizations, they meet Mondays at 10:30 in the morning, and you can look at their website, psgcnj.biz, psgcnj.biz. And then our other cousin organization, PSG of Morris County. They meet on Wednesdays at 9:30 in the morning, psgmc.org, psgmc.org. So that's what we have for you. And this is usually the point in the presentation that I thank the presenter for spending time with us. That sounds just a little bit self-serving, so I will not thank myself, but I was very pleased to be here, as I am always every Friday. And hope that you all have a good week, everybody. And stay warm as we are in the middle of winter now, and hope to see you all either next week or somewhere else virtually. And simply say, bye, everybody.